Oh, and another goal for Super Eagles.
Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to click that subscription button.
Oh, and another goal for Super Eagles.
This is Premier Sports Center. I need anywhere to take it away. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to click that subscription button.
Oh, and another goal for Super Eagles.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Oh, welcome to Talk Sports, your home for all football. My name is Yinka Adigbi, and today we got a fully filled package for you. We have transfers, we have reviews, we have key previews, as well as the Premier League hits up in the coming weekend. Gentlemen and ladies, you're welcome to Talk Sports today. And with me in the studio today, I have wonderful gentlemen who are going to be discussing with us. They're going to be going in depth into analysis. They're going to be dissecting what happened in the previous week. They're going to be talking and projecting into the weekend. So, well, first of all, I want you to meet from the outside flank. Yeah, mate. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's 7 days have gone, and it's another time to dissect what has happened so far and try to predict what will happen. So it's a good day to talk sport.
Right. Thank you, Yemi. He says it's a very good day to talk sport, and 7 days has passed since the last time we talked about football and soccer and other sports in general. So, and next to him, I have Paulo here. Paulo, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. Talk show, and always excited when it comes to, especially this our talk show, when we discuss about the trending topics, and the preview and review of games that have gone and the ones that are coming. So
Right.
I'm excited.
Right, thank you, Paulo. Paulo is excited to be here, and I hope you know this is Premier Sports Fan Center once again, and we're going straight into the first point today, and I'm going to take it from my far left. Yeah, mate. There's so much rumor about Kevin De Bruyne leaving Manchester City after 10 years of playing with the Citizens, and the rumor is all over the place, because it's trending all over the place.
It is no longer a rumor.
Wow.
Kevin De Bruyne has announced this
Going to be the last for him.
the next 1 month from now will be, according to what he wrote, I think it will mean end of this season.
Yeah.
So with what he said, I don't think he wants to represent City at the FIFA World Club Cup coming up. I'm not sure, but with the way he put it, maybe he will change his mind. But his contract is going to end at the end of this season, and he's not going to renew. So 10 years at Man City, a successful 10 years. He won everything available to be won. And we can only wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors.
Well, we can only wish him the best of luck in his endeavors. But Paulo, what do you think about Kevin De Bruyne leaving Manchester City? KDB has actually been a towering figure. He has been like a fortress for the midfield. A wonderful bridge between the defense. I relied on him. In fact, at the time, I remember Erling Haaland saying that without Kevin De Bruyne, he couldn't deliver the goals because nobody was giving him the final pass. So, what's your position of on him leaving City at this point in time?
Yeah, I think Kevin De Bruyne is also one of the reasons why
Man City win. No too many Lego vibe will come when it's needed. Not that you just want to entertain.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree with you.
Very serious direct player, and that's one of the qualities that you find really coming down in football of today. You see players who are just spaghetti, all these macaroni players that they are not serious enough. But Pep Guardiola will find it very difficult. I think it will take them maybe 1, 2, 3, or maybe they will never be able to replace him.
Oh, maybe they may never be able to replace Kevin De Bruyne. And you know, this guy has won 2 Premier League Player of the Year.
Yeah.
2 times, and plus his 18 trophies, Premiership up to 5, 6 or 7 Premierships.
I think so.
He has up to 6 or 7 Premierships.
Yeah, Premier League titles.
And with all these accolades this guy has, why will he still be looking for money in like maybe Saudi or something? Why do you think on that? Let's Paul. Let's take Paul on this.
Well, it's just no the normal thing, for most of those players when they get to a stage, though I think Kevin De Bruyne is one of the highest earning player in the league because he earned close to £350,000 with Manchester City, if not more. But him going to Saudi Arabia, we know how Saudi Arabia have been paying, mostly those players are coming from the Premier League. You see the likes of this former Aston Villa striker, and what's that his name again?
Durant.
Yeah, earning about $500,000 dollars. That's
I think about 300 something thousand for Durant. Attention to their league. Do they have to pay for it? Because without the money, who wants to go into that heat? It's a very, 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 very
hot environment. And with all those rules against women, you can't. Women can't be in every place. So much with the citizens to miss KDB on the field. But what do? Life has to go on. Just like Yema said, if you don't leave football, football will leave you. And I think that's one of the driving forces. So straight on, we move on to the second issue here. We're going to look at a few things that happened in the week. Premiership was played during the week. We also had 1 or 2, quote and unquote, El Clasico in Spain, Copa del Rey. But first of all, let's look at the Premier League. Arsenal, Fulham. Arsenal left it late to win by 1 goal margin.
No, they didn't leave it late. They scored in the first half, scored the second goal. It was Fulham that left it late
to equalize.
Get a goal.
But as it was a very slim margin, and people had to be on top of in front of their seats towards the end of the match. Paulo, what do you think? Do you think with that kind of performance, Arsenal can still contend for this trophy?
Yeah, well, it's the closing stages of the league now. So whatever the scoreline is, will be accepted. That is, if you get the 3 points, even though it's 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-2, it's okay with me. But looking at that match against Fulham, Arsenal actually have some ups and downs in that game. You see, at the beginning we started brilliantly, and we got the goal in the first half. To show for our first half performance, and the second half we got the goal also courtesy of what's his name again, Bukayo Saka, who's just returning from about 3-month injury, and and we lost some players also in that match to injury. Talking about Gabriel Magalhaes now, who has been confirmed to be ruled out for the remainder of the season, and there's also a rumor about Uren Timber, having will be missed also for like maybe 3 weeks.
Of the Giants, the Ballon d'Or contenders, number 2, number 3, or number 4, and possibly number of that team. How do you think Arsenal can cope in the next few weeks?
Yeah, first off,
and I also understand Calafiori is out.
Yeah, Calafiori is out too. First off, impossibility is nothing in the world of football.
Right.
But Saka alone can run that defense rugged, Real Madrid, and with a team like Arsenal that have shown that they can keep clean sheet. So if you just
but get that clean sheet is usually with Gabriel.
Yes, with Gabriel.
Yeah, whenever Gabriel is out, they have problems.
But this same Gabriel was there some years ago when they were shipping in goals. That means it's not just about Gabriel.
No, but he has upped his game
seriously. It's not just about Gabriel.
Then Saliba partnering Kiwo.
I doubt Kiwo. I think he would rather play Partey than
who else? Maybe Luka Modric. And who else? Maybe Luka Modric. And who else? that has played a lot of Champions League for Real Madrid.
Wait.
Vinicius Junior, is it up to 3 years in Real Madrid?
Vinicius Junior has. You see, there's a difference between
Vinicius has won
three. Is it two?
Two Champions Leagues.
I think it's more than two. Was it not
it's
there?
two.
The last one. It's two.
Yes.
Okay. Vinicius won 2 Champions.
Is it about winning it or up before? So you can do it again.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, well, we're going to put all the beliefs here in Arsenal going forward to perform and do the David and Goliath feat come next week against Real Madrid, and then upper week in the second leg at the Bernabeu. I think we're first going to the Emirates.
Yeah.
And then later to the Bernabeu. And that new Bernabeu is just a madhouse. 77,700 fans. Noisy, closed up, and it's even covered right now.
Yeah.
The noise can drown you in that place. I just hope that the boys of Arsenal will be able to survive that. Okay, so the next we have here is Liverpool and Everton. We know how difficult it was for Liverpool to get a point. 3 points in that match. It took them so long to call that out. What do you think about Liverpool's present form? It looks like they're dipping. Let's take it from Yemi, first of all.
Yeah, I think Liverpool is just depth. It's just depth. It's as simple as that. The same problem they had last season should face this season. The difference is just that Man City was not the Man City of last season.
Exactly.
That's just it.
Otherwise, City will have been neck to neck with them right now.
Right now. Yeah, I did been even if you now look at the start, if you reanalyze this, if Chelsea had gotten a good striker, Chelsea will be dragging that first with Liverpool. Because a lot of games Chelsea dropped all 3 points, dropped 2 points. Chelsea had clinical chances. A good goal getter
finish.
The 3 points will be home.
Meanwhile, Salah has been carrying that Liverpool virtually on his shoulders.
Yeah, because
so when he doesn't come to the party, it looks like
for
Liverpool.
you to win the league, you need at least a consistent goal punter that can carry the team and somebody that can share the load a little. There was a time Salah was not scoring, Luis Diaz was bringing it in.
Right.
And there was a time when Luis Diaz was not bringing it in.
And the young man, even
was coming
Gakpo was at the time doing well.
Was doing well.
And Nunes too was also.
Nunes, yeah, because there are some matches he won for them.
What really is affecting Liverpool is just depth. They don't have depth.
Okay, so what's your position on Liverpool's position? Because at a point in time they were flying so high, and then suddenly they were dropped out of Champions League by PSG, and they were dropped out of the FA. They were knocked out of the were beaten at Carabao Cup by Newcastle, and now they're struggling to even get one goal for about 3 or 4 Premiership matches.
Yeah, it was the same like last season, because at the point in time last season, Liverpool were in position to win the quadruple. Even this season, there was a talk of them going on winning all the old trophy. Not until they were knocked out by is it Plymouth? Yeah, in the FA Cup.
Right.
Before, suddenly, they out of the Champions League and FA Cup. They were knocked out of those competitions in the space of just 1 week, because after they lost to PSG, I think about 3 days later
they lost to Newcastle.
And but for Liverpool, they've tried, to be honest, this season. I don't think there's any other club that deserves to win that league other than them, because you've seen the consistency they've been on in this season, and at this stage now, they are struggling to get those goals, and I think it's as a result of fatigue to some of their key players. Talking about Mo Salah, and with the gap now, Liverpool can still lose 2 match or 3 match and still go ahead to win.
I think the gap is up to 12 points.
12 points, can still go ahead and win the game, and it doesn't matter now how many goals they score. As far as they can win the game, even though it's by 1-0, they are good to go. So they don't need to stress themselves. They have only one competition to play now. They are not in the Champions League, not in the FA Cup. So I think they've really tried this season, and probably with luck that's also been on their side, because if you look at almost all the old top clubs in the EPL this season, at a point in time, their key players have all suffered injury. But look at Liverpool. They've had Mo Salah from the beginning up to now. Including Virgil van Dijk. Their chief defender at the back. The only key player I think they had injury that had got injury for Liverpool was their goalkeeper. What is his name? Alisson, and I think was about out for about 2 to 3 months. But they had another goalkeeper that was capable of covering for him. So for Liverpool this season, they've been spectacular, and I think they will see it through.
Now talking about being spectacular, I think I'm going to disagree with that a bit. Spectacular, maybe not the word. In the Premiership race, yes, they have been consistent.
I mean the Premier League.
But I don't think they have met up with our expectation from the start. One will expect Liverpool to go home with more than 2 or 3 trophies this season, considering how they started and how they have run the race. Even up to the time PSG dropped them out, we still believed that Liverpool was going to do the job. And at the final, who will give it to Newcastle, really? Yeah, mate. Well, do you agree with my position, or you have a contrary opinion? Liverpool, generally.
Liverpool is not spectacular this season. They were just efficient. They were doing what is needed to be done.
Right.
Not that they were blowing teams away. When you talk about spectacular, you blow teams away. So it's not as if Liverpool did something too extra. It's just that the teams they were competing with were not as consistent.
Usually one goal margin.
Competition.
One goal margin.
Yeah.
Like Leicester City back in 2000.
Look at Everton, 1-0. It is just that they were just trying to do enough to get what they want to. But
that's
if
efficiency.
They had a team that was going neck to neck with them.
Right.
Now, with how inconsistent Arsenal has been, it's just 12 points.
Yeah. That's 4 matches.
That means if Arsenal was consistent, it would be neck on neck with Liverpool. If it was even
absolutely correct, because we actually thought Arsenal could do it.
Yeah, but injuries will come. They suffer from depth. The thing about it is that when you don't take the right medicine for what is wrong with you will remain. That's the problem.
Yeah, but what if you can afford the medicine?
They can afford it. It's just misplaced priority.
No, but what if you can't financially afford the medicine?
Financially afford it. It's just like they were playing to the gallery. The same thing Chelsea did. Chelsea knew that Jackson was not going to be reliable. They now became motivational speakers.
But Chelsea had Nkunku as a backup to
Nkunku was never
Jackson.
A striker. Nkunku is a playmaker.
Okay.
So when you look at this thing realistically, not that Liverpool was spectacular, Liverpool was just efficient.
And they were so fortunate this was City's downtime.
Yeah, and not just City. If Chelsea had gotten a striker, Chelsea would compete with them.
Well, Chelsea
if you look at those fixtures,
a real threat along.
You see, go and check in Europe this season. Chelsea is one of the teams that has lost biggest chances.
Okay.
If you check the game yesterday, look at
so many big chances.
If not for
I agree with you.
Miracle.
Yes, I agree with you. And thank you very much for that in-depth analysis. Ladies and gentlemen out there, this is Premier Sports Fan Center, and we are looking this week at the roundup of events that happened in the past week, and then we're going to look forward to the weekend. And thank you for staying tuned, and thank you for staying with us. We're going to look at Manchester City defeating Leicester City by 2-0. Does it mean City is back, or is it just another flash in the pan for you, Paul? Very quickly.
Well, I don't think they are back. I think it's still the same City because
and that was without Erling Haaland.
Yeah, without Erling Haaland. Yeah, if it were to be City of maybe 2 seasons ago or even last season, they would have whitewashed this Leicester City probably by 5 goals. To not, and you could see they got those 2 goals in the first half, and they couldn't get another goal again at Etihad against a Leicester City, a team that is struggling, that is shipping in goals, week in, week out, and I think there's a start going on about Leicester City conceding more than 4 goals in about 5 consecutive matches,
and they have set a new record.
Yeah, and
a very old
and
concession
see
record.
Manchester City scoring 2 against Leicester City. I don't think they are back. I just think they.
Okay,
You know,
yeah, man. What do you think of this guy, the replacement for Erling Haaland, McCarthy, the young man, the 19-year-old that was brought in? Do you think he can actually fit into those shoes?
You know, one thing about Man City is they are missing that creative spark De Bruyne brings. So
Right.
now that the romance going on that was on between Man City and De Bruyne is coming to an end, I think Man City needs to make A's when the sun shines. But I think they have a guy that can step into his shoes, and for me,
Louis?
the name is Jack Grealish.
Oh, Grealish.
But if
That sounds so British.
yes, if they can get the Grealish we saw at Aston Villa, because there's something about Grealish. He has vision and he has space,
Okay.
and if he can just be serious,
Wow, this is the first time I'll be hearing this, that Grealish can take the position of
yes,
De
he
Bruyne
can.
and play the number
In fact,
8.
the idea of bringing Grealish that season was because De Bruyne, one of the things I saw was that De Bruyne got injured so many times that season, and Man City was struggling to win one creativity. It was Hondogan would just come and just struck it in. So they needed somebody with the creativity. So Grealish can create. Guardiola has played him outside the midfield, on the left most times.
Right.
So bring him to the number 8. That role,
And that's what it was at Aston Villa.
that's what it was. And Grealish, without injuries, yes, he has been struggling, but if you can keep him fit, give him shield, he will run midfield rugged. He knows how
Wow,
to.
that's a lot
Yeah.
of faith in Mark Grealish. What do you think about that?
Well, for Grealish, I think there's also, I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but there is he will be leaving Manchester
It's
City
still a
also.
rumor.
Still, though it's a rumor, because I actually read it, because part of those players that Pep
Might.
Guardiola, lost confidence in. There was a lot of expectation on Grealish when he joined
No,
them.
what
for-
was
for-
wrong
for-
with Grealish was injuries.
I-
Guardiola was like, he has not really stayed fit for a couple of games straight. So I think that's the issue with Grealish.
So now for Grealish, I think it will be a very big task for him to fill in the role of what's his name now, KDB. I think he has been with Manchester City for like 3 seasons now, and for those 3 seasons, I can't remember seeing him playing as a number 8 or number 10
Number
for
10.
Manchester City. He
I
has
think
been playing
just once or twice it's been
he has
brought.
been playing from the
Because there's
left
De
hand.
Bruyne.
Yeah. So I
There's
don't
De
know if he's
Bruyne.
going to be able to do it, because this Grealish of Manchester City now is different from the one we saw with
No, but
Aston Villa.
if you look clearly at the way Grealish plays, I don't know if it's just me, he likes to play into the center.
That
And he likes to cut in and then create, a force or a decoy.
where you will know is that Grealish will not play like a natural winger.
Yeah,
Run
he
to
doesn't.
decide put a cross, or run to decide cut and just shoot.
He plays inside.
Play into the midfield and try to pick passes
Exactly.
instead of aim at goal. So you will see that he has that creative spark, but he just needs somebody to unleash him.
Maybe he needs somebody to die, like it was written in the scriptures. The year Uzziah died, Isaiah saw the Lord.
Saw the Lord.
Maybe somebody needs to leave for a Grealish to shine. Because let's also remember that Salah did not shine he didn't shine in Chelsea. He didn't shine in Italy until he now got back to Liverpool
I think he
and
did
became
He
a
shined at
He did,
Fiorentina, shined at Roma,
I think he did.
then came to Liverpool.
but would you compare his shining in those places to what he has done at Liverpool? Liverpool shining has been fantastic.
You can compare with De Bruyne and Salah too.
Yeah.
They left Chelsea, but when they got to a club that gave them playing time, if you see what De Bruyne did at Schalke for,
Yes, I remember.
massive.
I
Was it
remember he
Schalke
was-
for Wolfsburg?
Wolfsburg.
It was in
Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg.
It was massive. So that's just it. And you can't blame Chelsea too. You can't bench Hazard for De Bruyne there.
All right, thank you for that. And let's look at Chelsea defeating Tottenham, their city rival, to The 3 points. Chelsea, congratulations, Chelsea fans, once again. Yeah, mate, I'm sure you'll have been so elated to see the end of that game, considering Tottenham's last minute pullout. But I think Tottenham was too sloppy in that match. Paul, I want you to have a go at this before Yemite has to say. Was Chelsea really deserving of that win? And then Tottenham, were they fitting enough to play in that match?
Right, I think Chelsea deserved the whole 3 point. It's just that the scoreline didn't do justice to how Chelsea performed that day, because we saw Chelsea, playing.
So what would you have expected the game to end like?
Maybe by at least 3-1, 4-1, because it took it was. I think after Chelsea got the goal in this second half, that is when Tottenham was able to register their first shot on target in that game. Because if you look at that match very well, you see that if Chelsea had a striker that knows how to score, goals, right, Chelsea would have gotten maybe 2 goals in the first half, because we saw Nicholas Jackson missing a lot of chances, and what's his name again? There was this chance that fell into the hands of I think it should be the right back. What's his name again? Gusto. There was this chance, he just I didn't know how he played that ball, and for Tottenham they didn't really have any shot on target in the first half, though they were, the first 10 minutes of that game, you see both teams going, at each other, playing, and I was here in the studio that we were saying, wow, we are going to see a lot of goals in this first half, but the first half ended no goal from both sides, and you could see that it's as a result of no clinical striker from Chelsea, because they actually, they were playing to their best. They want to get the goal, but they were wasteful. You see the likes of what's his name, the Manchester United loanee now, Jadon Sancho, just wasting chances, including the Portuguese winger also, Pedro Neto, and even Kopama himself. But overall, I think Chelsea deserved that victory.
Okay, so what I want you to look at the technical analysis of that match. I want you to give us something we didn't see on that field. Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, Gusto, the likes of the Chelsea boys that really made impact. Noni Madueke, technically speaking, what was Chelsea doing in that match? Something we didn't see.
Right now, as far as I'm concerned, the romance going on right now between the Chelsea team and Enzo Maresca is not making full sense, because this is not a charade. It is not a show of let us pass the ball around, and let's get entertained. This is business. Now, if you want to entertain, you entertain the business way. You can entertain and score goals. Now, the issue I have with Enzo, mainly the tactician, is that, you see, there has to be repercussion for mistakes. I remember under Mourinho's era, if you commit a defensive error, the next game most likely you'll be on the bench. You being on the bench doesn't mean you're a bad player, but you need to be chastised. There's a lack of discipline in that Chelsea team. It is very obvious.
That's another angle.
No matter how tactically sound you are, if you are not disciplined, see, bad attitude is like a flat tire. It won't take you anywhere. So if you don't have the attitude to back up your talent, you will just be like.
Can you put examples and names of players to this philosophies?
One, Jackson. How can a striker not eat the ball with venom?
Because he wanted to dance.
It is very funny.
Or maybe he heard music.
Now,
Michael,
when you look at Kopama, you see a player that has been overworked.
Right.
He has see the Bruyne. If you are not careful, that's the future of Kopama.
Of course, that will be his future.
Because he will keep taking the hits, because it's the only one we can see as creative spark that is maybe a bit serious. Look at Pedro Neto cutting back unnecessarily.
At the time I thought Pedro was doing well, and that at some point in time he just makes wrong decisions.
See, one thing is this, in a democracy, majority carries the vote. So when there's lackadaisical attitude around you, it will begin to, it's like a virus. You will be infected. That's what is happening in Chelsea. You see a team whereby the passion is not there. I saw Rudiger wanting to, Chalobah wanting to tear the Tottenham player. Why? He grew up in that setting. He saw the Chelsea attitude. He saw what it meant to play in a derby. He saw what it means. Even Enzo that scored yesterday, to me, was terrible on the night. It was just at the right place at the right time to convert the goal.
Yeah,
the only reason Chelsea won, they were playing.
Was a rebound, right?
Yeah, no.
An header.
Okay.
The only reason Chelsea won that game yesterday was they were playing a Tottenham side that is low on confidence.
True. Absolutely.
Low on confidence. Not that Chelsea did spectacularly well. Even with a low in confidence team, they had to be a special save from Sanchez for Chelsea to survive. A disallowed goal by VAR.
That chance by Son would have gone in.
It would have gone in.
Beautiful save.
So
That was a beautiful save.
Chelsea, as far as I'm concerned, most likely, if they don't change their attitude, but leaving the criticism, I saw at least an improvement. And where did I see the improvement? They were leading 1-0. I saw the players trying to defend. They are not there yet. But at least the attitude is beginning to change towards defending when you are leading 1 goal.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. And finally, we're looking at our very own Reds from the city of Manchester as well. The other side of Manchester, you know, we have 2 sides in Manchester. One is blue and the other is red. And this one is the red side of Manchester facing another red, Nottingham Forest. And rumors had it that Manchester United got lost in the forest of Nottingham and they couldn't find their way home. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Nottingham Forest. What's your position on United? Do you think they can make top 10 this season, or they are going down for that of 15?
Well, they have only 8 games left, you know, and that's about 24 points for them, you know. And I don't see Manchester United winning 3 from those remaining 8 matches, because if you look at it this season, I think they are among the teams that have not won consecutive matches, because Manchester United, they can't win back-to-back games. It's either they win one, then it took them maybe three matches again before they win another one, and you have 8 matches left. So highest they can win now, maybe it's 3 points, and they don't even, most times they don't draw, they just lose. And you could see Manchester United this
they
season,
just lose rather than draw.
They don't draw, they lose. And yeah, with what we saw against Nottingham Forest, though there was improvement from the team, you know, they played. I think they played better than Nottingham Forest that day. But it's just that, you know, like Yermite was saying about, you know, Chelsea having a lot of chances, and you know, what's his name now, Jackson, mixing them and co. The same thing with Manchester United, and I think this season is you know, one of the worst seasons for Manchester United. The Manchester United, you know, I grew up to know. In fact. You know, for Manchester United to be in 13th position, I think since probably early September, they've been on between 13 and 14, 15. They've
At
not
the
been
time,
able
they went down to 15.
Yeah, 13, 14, 15. They were romancing those 3 points. And if you look at the teams in front of them,
it looks like there's a magnet around
Yeah.
14 somewhere for United.
Yeah, and look, and this weekend now, I don't think they will even win.
They are going to be playing City.
I don't think they will win. So we might be
Yeah,
seeing them. I don't think they will
do you
make the top
fancy
10.
United chances versus City over the weekend on Sunday? United chances, are they likely going to get any point from that encounter?
I think cities they are going through a resurrection process. So it's just like same of same. And there's one thing about Man U this season: when they see those big teams, they tend to die there. We saw what they did against Arsenal. So I think it's
right. That's how about Nottingham Forest? Let's take a little bit of Nottingham Forest. Considering their performance so far this season, three position on the log right now.
yeah.
And nobody gave them a chance at the start, and they have been pretty challenging and consistent. What's your take on that, Yemi? Let's take it from you.
It's just the city boys mounting up on the and rub shoulders with other city boys. So you have to give a lot of credit to Nuno Espirito Santos, who actually won the Manager of the Month for March. So you look at them; they are not this side that have too many talents.
Right.
What they've been able to do is to be efficient.
Right.
They are also in the semi-final of the FA Cup.
That's
and
correct.
They've been able to almost rubber stamp that number three. They are 5 points ahead of Chelsea with 8 games to go. So all they need to do is win 7 or win 6 and draw 1 or thereabout, and they are home and dry in the Champions League. So I think that he has done a great job, fantastic job with the investment, with the what they are getting. He has done a great job. Leaving Saudi, coming here was like his Nigeria career is nosediving, but came back and started doing all these things. He has made them. They just play as a unit. You can't say you mark out this person. They all play as a unit. That's the hallmark of
wonderful. That's really wonderful coming from Nottingham Forest. Just before we leave this segment, Paul, I'm going to take it to you first. Let's digress.
Whatever they do to you will be limited. So that's one of the things Baka did. And one thing that you have to now notice is going on is Baka has a lot of
a little about what's happening this weekend. We have 3 matches here. We're going to just nip on the board for you over the weekend. Chelsea will be playing Brentford, and they will be going away to play at Brentford. And we have Fulham hosting Liverpool, and Manchester United, the red one, will be playing Manchester City, the blue one, over the weekend. So let's take it one by one. Yemi, you talk about Chelsea's chances with Brentford. Paulo will speak about Arsenal's. Arsenal is playing. Who are we playing? Everton. And then we'll talk about Liverpool and close it up on Man City. Yemi, let's take Chelsea very quickly. 1 minute.
Chances are slim. Brentford difficult to
Brentford is on number 9 of the log.
Not just about
right
the
now.
number they are. They
and
are very
amassed a lot of points.
Very difficult team to play at home. So it's as far as I'm concerned, it's advantage Brentford. Because when you look at the attitude of these Chelsea boys, you don't know the one that.
But they may just wake up and decide to go all out.
That's why you use me.
But it's advantage Brentford.
Yeah, if it was Liverpool, you wouldn't use me. So,
oh well. Okay, so what do you think? How do you fancy Arsenal chance against Everton?
Well, I think it's going to be a very tough game because we saw this season Arsenal have not been able to defeat Everton this season. The first leg at the Emirates ended 0-0. Both teams failed to get a goal in that game. And with the recent happenings at Arsenal now, injury plus lack of form to some of their key players, but I think it might also go the way it goes last season because I remember Arsenal defeating Everton 1-0 away last season at
So what scoreline do you predict?
Probably another 1-0 win for Arsenal.
1-0 win. What scoreline do you predict? Brentford Chelsea. Scoreline?
Be Chelsea 2-1.
Chelsea win.
Yeah,
2-1. Okay, so Fulham Liverpool.
Well, Fulham Liverpool. I think Liverpool we is going to take that game, win Fulham.
Somehow I think Fulham may upset Liverpool.
I don't think so because Fulham now they're beginning to lose from. I think they are winless in their last 4 games now, just like Bournemouth. Both of them they've been very they really stepped up this season. Talking about Fulham, likes of Bournemouth. Cool, they stepped up.
Right.
But in the last 4 matches now, they've not been able to win. They were recently knocked out of the FA Cup also by Crystal Palace. That was even below them at home. And they also they recently lost to Arsenal now in the league, and playing against a Liverpool team that is having only the Premier League to to play for now. And you could see Fulham, the boys are tired, and I think Liverpool will be is going to see that game through and get the win. It might also be a low scoring affair, maybe 1-0 or probably 2-1 or 2-0 in favor of Liverpool.
Liverpool 2-1 or 2-0. Yeah, Mike, what do you think? Fulham Liverpool scoreline.
Maybe 2-1 Liverpool.
Liverpool. Okay, so you guys are hearing the bookmakers. They are giving you predictions here. And then finally, Manchester's derby. We have the Manchester of the other side, the older one, the red one, versus the younger one, the blue one. And there's going to be a clash with the noisy neighbors this weekend. What do you think? Yemi, let's take you first. Manchester United, Man City.
I think it's a game that it will be dicey. We don't know which team will come to the party because the both are not stable of the two teams, and it's a derby. Form is thrown out of the window.
So draw?
Probably a draw.
Goalless? Or scored?
Maybe a 1-1.
Maybe 1-1. Paulo?
Yeah, what we've learned with the Manchester derby in recent season is that I don't think it's about form, because we've seen Manchester City being in super form. Then Manchester United from nowhere will just come and
and they just get the cup.
All the 3
and they go just the FA Cup last season.
But this season you see Manchester City struggling.
Right.
But United is even worse. I don't. If I say Manchester City is struggling, I can't use the same struggling for Manchester United.
I think United is trying to stay alive.
United is deep in form.
Okay, deep in form.
They're trying to stay alive. Number 13
alive.
and likely 15. If Tottenham had won yesterday, they will have gone down to 14 or 15.
So, but I think we are going to see an entertaining game, an interesting one, because whenever Manchester United and Manchester City play, I tend to enjoy those games, and I won't be surprised if Manchester United go ahead and win that game, because it has been, of the same in the last 3
That's been like the precedence recently.
So, but I think both of them will square it out. No Erling Haaland in this one. I think anybody that is able to convert their chances will definitely take the day.
That's beautiful. Really, that's my expectation. I'm going to be watching that match. I hope you guys are going to be watching these matches over the weekend. They're going to be fantastic. And let's not forget also that the Nigerian Premier League also have matches for the weekend. Try and stay tuned to the MPFL as well, and patronize the MPFL and encourage our own people around here in Nigeria. And gentlemen and ladies, fans, boys and girls, with that, we are going to call it a wrap on TalkSport for this weekend. Today is Friday, and we are going to have a lovely weekend. We're going to watch all these matches. We're going to be here in the studio through Saturday, Sunday, and take you through all the matches. And by next week, we'll also be here to talk about Champions League. These are the champions. We're going to be seeing the champions at the quarterfinals from Tuesday and Wednesday. This is going to be 8 superstars. The remaining are super. We're going to be seeing the likes of Arsenal face Real Madrid. We're going to be looking at Barca facing Borussia Dortmund. And we're going to look at PSG facing the Aston Villa of Premiership. And then the last and not the least is, what's the last club playing? Bayern Munich.
Inter.
And Inter Milan, the Azuris or the Nerazzurris, will be playing the Bayern Munich boys. So it's going to be fantastic next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. Make sure you're available. Join Premier Sports Fan Center. Just log in, like, subscribe, and join the club, and you will get up-to-date information from time to time on our site. Remember to follow us on Facebook as well as follow us on YouTube. Once again, this is Premier Sports Fan Center. Today, TalkSport has come to an end, and we'd like to drop the baton until next week. We'd like to close the curtain. But before we go, my final words, please.
Let everyone just enjoy the weekend with football right, left, and center, and just have a fruitful weekend as much as join Premier Sports Fan Center for the programs on the menu.
Beautiful. Yemi is asking you to have a fruitful weekend. It doesn't mean if you already have a ton of them in the house, go and have more. Fruitful does not always mean have so many more. Paulo, what do you think?
Yeah, like Yemi said, I just want to, encourage our viewers to keep tab with us. From I think 12:30 p.m. Nigerian time tomorrow. We'll be in the studio, so you guys can all join us. And there are a lot of matches, and we'll be here, to let you guys know how everything is going. So that's from.
Thank you very much. And from me here, my name again is Yinka Adegbuyi, and from the crew and from the crew behind the scenes, we say thank you for standing by. Thank you for pushing things. Showlight, thank you. And Amaka, thank you. And the producer, we also appreciate you for this opportunity. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to keep it locked into this channel and keep talking sport. Until we see next week, keep talking sports.
Super Eagle.
This is Premier Sports Center. I need anywhere. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember to click that subscription button.